Hi there, this is Daniel with End Time Country Living, and on this video I want to quickly show you guys how I am making my compost piles. They worked really well last year and are working really well this year, and I just want to show you a little bit of the process here. So early this morning I've been out working mowing, and just mowed a small area here, but I was able to get about four garden cart loads of grass clippings and leaves. So that's what you see here is big piles that I've loaded up here. So I am building the compost pile using that over in the next area. So I'm working on laying down just layers of grass clippings and watering them in, and if needs a little bit more leaves, I grab a couple forkfuls of leaves and sprinkle those around in there too. So I got my garden hose with just a valve on here and get quite a bit of water coming out at once. So I've laid it out a layer here, and I'm just going to wet it down now. Needs quite a bit of water on here. I'll grab my manure fork here and put another layer of grass clippings on here. Clean this off here and at it. About a 50-50 mix of brown to green material here. So most of the stuff that I've been sucking up here has a lot of oak leaves in there. Other leaves that have already been mixed in, so I don't really need to add any right now. So I just need a thin layer. And then get it wet again. So a lot of watering. The majority of the time spent is watering. If you don't get it wet enough, it won't start breaking down. It won't heat up appropriately, so that's very important. Anyway, this needs a little bit more water here. So just making a square, so kind of squaring it off. And then kind of making nice straight edges as much as possible here. You can see this pile's starting to break down and compacting quite a bit here. So I've kept the tarp on here to keep the moisture, and I don't have I need to get some of my other tarps that are put over there. So I have a few more that are just for the garden use over the beds. So the other tarps that I have are mainly for the beds in the garden, but they're little strips, but I can fold them back and forth a few times over the top, and they still work fairly good. And since I'm not using them out in the garden, I can use them for a compost pile right now, so get multiple use out of them. So this is breaking down nicely. It's still about 145 degrees or so Fahrenheit. So happy for that. Seems to be going. I think I turned it Friday here, and now it's Monday. So it's still heating up, and as soon as it starts to get down maybe in the 30s, I'll go ahead and move it to another spot in the process of turning it. So anyway, that's basically the process. You just keep building up the building up the pile as you go. Once I get this all cleaned out of here of the stuff I just mowed, I'm going to go mow some more and bring in a bunch of more loads, and then water that in, and keep adding to the pile until I get it up as high as possible here, or run out of time and need to move on to something else for a few days. So anyway, that's the process there. It's fairly simple. Just make sure you have some equal parts of brown material and leaves, brown grass or something like that, whatever you have available to you, and some nice fresh weeds, grass. Grass clippings is kind of a general term, but it's more more weeds than grass for the most part. But there's still a There's still a lot of grass in there too, pretty high. It's about a foot, 14 inches high now in some places. So it all needs to be mowed here. If you use wood chips as your brown material, you want to cut it down, not 50-50, probably maybe I don't know if even a third, maybe a quarter wood chips to green material, because they are a lot thicker and soak up a lot more of the nitrogen. And that's actually good because you're tying up the nitrogen in a form that will be more stable, so you're not going to lose it. Otherwise, it's just going to go up into the atmosphere and you're going to lose all your nitrogen. And there's minerals and things can leach out too. So you just need to have a good carbon source there to bind it up.